Yerushalmי zegt de meisjes dat Chav Gimel en Beis nicht was gibt was warum ich schreiben jetzt da wir schreiben aber ist this blot the Gemara Chav Gimel and Beis is speaking about Payalim, when the Payalim are allowed to eat Minat Torah. If they're allowed to eat Minat Torah, that's not Kaveh L'Maisa. And if the Baal Bayis gives them, then it's Kaveh L'Maisa. So the Mishnah, Beis Zayin, Amud Aleph, and B'Metzia, and Sochas Payalim, makes it very clear. Because here in the Gemara, it's not so clear. The Mishnah says, V'ilu oichlem Minat Torah. These are the workers who may allow to eat from the field if the Baal Bayis gives them. It doesn't give them, but they haven't Minat Torah, they're allowed to eat. And it's not Kivei L'Maisa. What is this? They're working in something which grows from the ground. B'shas Gema Melocha. When it's Nigma Melachta. Rashi, Ilu Payalim Oichlem Imasha Oiskim Boy, whatever they're working, they're permitted to eat. Gema Melocha Kishitol Shenoiser. When they take it off the ground, when they take it out of the ground, when it's in the ground itself, if they're working on the Mechubel Karka, you're not permitted to eat. But it has to be something which comes from the ground. And B'shaz, Gema Melocha, meaning, Zok Rashi, Kishatol Shenoisha. Ubetolish, in Karka. If it's not in the ground anymore, it came out of the ground, but something that came from the ground. Ad Shaloi Nigma Melachtai. Ad Shaloi Nigma Melachtai. Zokt Rashi, L'Maisa, Vim Ba'achaluhu, Ad Shalei Nigma Melachta L'Chala, B'Tama L'Kulu Masisim M'Fajju Gemara B'Koi. All these things are psukim. V'ilu She'ein Oichlin, who are the ones that can eat? Oisib M'Chubel L'Kaki, he's working on the ground itself. V'Shah She'ein Gema Melachta. V'Shah She'ein Gema Melachta, Zokt Rashi, Koin HaMenachesh B'Betzolim. That's Mamash in the Gemara, which we learned yesterday. He's menachesh in the betzolim, meaning he's weeding out the bad from the good on the betzolim, which are the onions. So this is the Mishnah. Rambam and Perek Yud Beis. Apayalim in Schidus, Apayalim Sheinoisim B'Dovish Gdulim in Akarka, V'dayin Le'nigma Melachtik, Bein B'Tolish, Bein B'Chuba, K'div Masei and Gemiyas HaMelocha, Arei Al Balabayis, Mitzvah, She'aniach Oisam Le'echel, Mima Sheinoisim Boy, he's permitted, he has to let them eat. Shenema, Kisav B'Kem Re'acha, Kisav B'Komas Re'acha, Pi Hashmu Lomdu, She'ena Kosim Medaber, Ele B'Socher, Ilu loy socher mihidaloi, shiyava bekem re'ya bekom mishaloi, shemidaita lakachu oime kisava b'shuz bailim la'avoid teichel. So you can't be speaking about somebody who doesn't have permission to work. Elamai, we're talking about a poil. And meila ma zokte v'aten amma halacha beis ma bein oise b'tolish loise mechuba oise b'tolish oiche b'dovish loy nigma malachtoi. If he's working on something that came from the ground, that's a tolush. Once it's finished, it's not permitted to eat anymore. Somebody's working, he's cutting it, or he's doing other things in the karka itself. It's not mutak elik going sheyigma avidose. Okay, this is the Rambam. Now this din that we spoke about mechidas chayvus of tevel, if you're allowed to pay off your chayvus with tevel, so the Rambam Perek brings it in two places. Perek hey, halacha is gimel. Hamoitze is pe'alav lasses le melocha b'soda. Zman she'ein lohem olav mezainis oichel min ha'pei she'b'soda p'turim min ha'maisa. Because he's paying them, that's keveya the ma'aser, because by giving him, he's paying them, but he doesn't have to give them. Doesn't matter, because he's paying them, that's keveya, even though it's not nigma malachtoi. The Rambam says the reason is not because it's nikva, And if it's nikva, it is also because it's kaveh l'maisa, and you can't eat it unless you have to take the maisa. The Rambam says no. The Rambam says the reason why you're not permitted to do it, in other words, you can't use the payers to pay the payalim, which you made a deal with them, you're going to pay them. She'ein poyin choyim min hatevel. Not al tkviyas. He's saying because ain't poyin choyim min hatevel, like we saw in the Pnei Moshe. The reason is you're not be pnei choyim. This was made. This is mishtash. Af bishloi nigma malachta. Look the shach. And Shin Lamed Aleph, Sif Cotton, Kuf Chof Hey. The shach hazot. P'turim min ha'maisa, shekim she'achshav ein lehem mezainis, who knows lehem? They don't have mezainis min ha'torah, just the Chinzi Gemara, and the Baal Bayis is giving it to them. So that's keveya. Af officially posik imoyim, even though he didn't make it that it's befurish, he didn't say beferish. But dayin lo nigma malachtoi. If it's not nigma malachtoi, not like the Rambam, he says like have a prei choyv mitevel. So says nicht prei choyv mitevel. Aber im malachtoi biad balabayis mistoma legam lemoichem lelechem and kva nitvu v'asurim lepayal. So what's to do? Interessant, the Shah doesn't bring the Rambam. So do anaf kimin azayah by say. The Shah says dovish lo nigma malachtoi. It's not Perei Choyim Mitevel. For what? It's not Tevel. What says Tevel? Tevel is Dovish Nigma Malachtoi. It's Roi for Tevel. It's Roi for Trumas and Maises. Yemel Tevel. You're not be Perei Choyim. But it's not Nigma Malachtoi. It's not Roi for Trumas and Maises, right? It's not Roi for Trumas and Maises. It says Mishka Tevel. So the Amaydik Machloikis says this in Tevel. What's this Tevel? Tevel, the Pshat is, it's a very Roi for Trumas and Maises, even though there was no Kriya Shem, there was no Afrosha, but was licked in the Azach, a Zika for Trumas and Maises. If there's a Zika, like we saw in the Yishalmi before, the Zika means that it's Roy for that. So the Machlekes is, if I need Nigmar, Melachta or not. So according to the Rambam, even though it's not Nigmar Melachta, Wushalai Nigmar Melachta, there's Zochet, Adim Fevos, Ein Perei Choyim Min HaTevel, because there's something here which select in do tables zika means it's going to be there, it's going to get there. When was nigma malachta? Choch was lo nigma malachta. It's als do zika from table, and the thing is, use this to pay off the chayvus. Your chayvus. Why? So different ways how to learn it. You learn like the semeach. As the pshat is adolik the geld is the geld is the als do. They still have here the trumas and maises are still here because even though you gave it to somebody else, but you made a tumura, so it's like a tumura. Look this do. That's a semech's idea. So Akaponim licked the chals trumas and maises, so you can't use these trumas and maises. You can't eat it. Why you can't use this? That's hasty gas and table. They said no semech. Over like the shach is like no. Dafke if it was already nigma malachta, then what's there is do adinfin prei chayvay is nigma malachta. Then it's already more roy for even though there was no afrosha, but sliction do trumas and maises. And maybe like the dafke then what's do anisif and ein moichen ein priyas chay with the table. Okay. It's Appella, yeah. It's Appella. So didn't have enough chance to do a little bit more. I saw time briefly, but it doesn't get too deep into this. No. So then if we might know about it, okay. Let's go back to the Gemara. Zog the Gemara Kuf. Chav Gimel on the base. Oichel achas achas report in the middle of the Yom. Oichel achas report. Let me get to the Mishnah of Aleph. State the Mishnah. There's two more in the Mishnahs. Once it says in Mishnah Beis and once in Mishnah Gimel. Mishnah Beis, Amoitzi Pe'alav L'Soda, is man she'ein lahem olav mezainis oichlin paturim. He doesn't have a chiyuv to give them mezainis. So the oichlin u paturim. Avam yesh lahem olav mezainis. He gave them mezainis. His emel tzedor adin for kivis ma'aseh because he gave them that he doesn't have to give them in a Torah. The emel is oichlin av yesh lahem olav mezainis. So they're not allowed to eat only achas. Even if you gave him mezainis, there's a kaviyas, but achas, one at a time, one pay at a time, one date at a time, that's not considered a kaviyas. Two of them is your kaviyas. Abu Yeshlo mezainis, but if he made a geschäft with them, he's giving them mezainis, achas menatena, v'loy menatzal, v'nakupa, v'loy menamuksa, because these things, okay, but that does is kaviyas. The zweite Mishnah Gimel, das Eiches apoyel asas ima bezeisim, now they're working in the zeisim, which is the olives. If he says he made a din that he's going to give them paytas, and he doesn't have to give them, it's talking about Metzias where the Mishnah tells you you put them at the Isa, but he's giving them from his own. It's made more than one he's not allowed to do, because that's a kviyas, because he agreed to pay them. To weed, take off the bad onions from the good ones. That's their job. And he said, I'm going to pay you. Yerek mikatim ala for oichel. He's eating one at a time, one yerek, one vegetable at a time. Imtziv is chai. That's the Gemara. Yes, that's the Mishnah. That's the Gemara. Tony divei Rebbe, but we learned in Beis Rebbe. Oichel kedakoi kupote. Oichel kedakoi kupote. Look, the Pnei Moshe was made this oichel kedakoi kupote. Im socher lasis im begufu shel zeisim kloime begufu ilona shel zeisim the saken oisa bezeh kule almim moedim dafka oichel achas achas. If he's working in the Gufa Elon, not in the payers, in the Gufa Elon, he's fixing the tree itself to make the payers go better. That's the Nishkan Heta was a mega essence. That's not one of the things that the Torah gives him Heta to eat. So that's for sure coming from the Balabait. It's the Mechubahu, it's a Mechuba. What's the problem? The problem is it's Nigma Malachdoi. So Mamela is not Minat Torah, and he's eating from the Balabais in this Kaveya. Zok the Gemara, Im Sisocher Lasis Imoy Begufim Shal Zeisim, Kol Ama Moide, if in the Guf of the Zeisim on the tree, Shuhu Oichel Achach is a potter, Vimtziv is Chayiv. So Kianon Kaminon, well, what does he mean Kianon Kaminon? There's a man the Homo Rebbe is Mechulik on the Mishnah. So when does Rebbe Mechulik on the Mishnah? This is Socher Lenachash is the Bezeisim. He hired him to take apart the bad ones from the good ones. Min the Basa Lenachash B'Betzolim. So he tells him like this: one at a time is mutter, but if he puts it together, then it's awesome. What's made? Look, the Moshe Hazayah. The vet itself, it's like hieroglyphics. Look at Hazayah. Kianon keminon. Look to Pnei Moshe b'soch lenachash min the bas kloimer. Because the Sheminim in the Eili b'Sefer, the Sefer the Mishnah is talking about by Zeisim, by B'Tzolim, by the onions, the Nachash. V'ochi nam b'V'dei Nachash b'Zeisim, or onions, or olives, v'hoplig. The time of the Masnisin in the Mishnah, if he's working on the tree when it's still Mechuba to the Karka, b'Shah she'eino Gmar Malacha, who dahavya. It's Mechuba, and there's no Gmar Malacha. If it's already finished product, you can't eat. It has to be double shaloi nigma malachtoy. V'hava kemeka kedvish masdisem. So loy the Tana from the Mishnah it's a chesasa because it's mekach because not oichel min ha'Torah. He's only oichel min ha'tanai. Oichel min ha'tanai is keveya. That's the into the Tana. Well, the Tana in the base of Rebbe gets the Yishalmi, bring that under the Tana. was says based Rebbe, lechoshev leiko ise b'mechuba. Das heißt nicht gearbeitet in der mechuba. Why? Hoye ve'ena oise begufa shelilone hazeisem. Elo ka oise betolish atzal nigma melocha. He's separating one from the other ones. He wants it to grow better, so he takes off the tree. He takes off the bad zaysim because he doesn't want the bad zaysim to destroy the koyach of the tree. Das heißt nicht gearbeitet in mechuba, be the Tanakh, and thus says ka'oise betolish. It's like he's working in zaysim, which is not mechuba. Actually, nigma malachtoi. Today, oichel min ha'toyrehu. He's working on the peiros. On peiros, which is not mechuba to the karka. Says do adin I megas min ha'toyre. And oibe megas min ha'toyre. That's not kavei lemaisa. Alter Rebbe lekula and look to the that's the mutter. Ma ate pote the tinin hoche. Be'eze tam hu. Ba'ayev tu the tinin hoche b'maslis and the Tanakama held nishta Rebbe Rebbe, and he holds that it's pote. Why is it mutter? Boichel achas achas. Doctor, nonetheless, even though you give him minatanai, you did give him the ability to eat, and l'chayim should be kaveya, but he only gave him. He's eating one at a time, even though he has a right to eat more, but he's eating one at a time. It's vensich in the derech achilose. His derech is eating it one at a time, even though it's something which is nikva because he gave him a tonight that he's allowed to eat. It says are, he's eating it are, it's a mele, is a potter. So this is the machlokes Rebbe with the Tanakama. This says kedarka is the says samachubel karka tzinish because he's separating the olives or the onions from the tree, and he wants the tree to produce better peiros. He doesn't want it to be shvach. It does case machubel tzinish. The Tanakama will hold that it's in ganze mutter because this is working in the machubel, and the machubel is mutter. Mashen kein like Rebbe to be also because it's doing in the karka. The only reason why it's mutter is because he's eating a derech arai, even something which is nikva. But if you eat a derech arai, the Chayrai is not mechuyev in Maises. So to me now folder. Rabbi oichel kedaka yafilu habe upote. Why? Because Rabbi holds the three-lay the oichel min ha'toyre kepoyel lekach pote. Because min ha'toyre is lari. If you lari min ha'toyre, that's not kevei l'maiseh. Because the Torah gave it to him. Only nikva aydei odom. Last is him b'zeisim lekitas hazeisim. Avlei poyel b'melachta v'oichel upote milkulam. If he has the right to eat it, because he's eating in zaysin, that the Torah says you're mutter to eat when you're working in the peiros. Asim melocha begufin shel zaysin, be'ilah v'loy b'zaysin atzmai, is that what's venser. Kol ama moedim, that's cool ama moedim, shechayim is b'tzirev, if he's mitzarev, he's eating more than one, hoyu bein ha-melocha begufay zaysin, rak be'ilah shelahem, it's not in the gufa zaysin, he's eating in the gufa ilah itself, but he makes it tzirev, also, but no tzid if it's mutter because you eat meguf ilan. Guf ilan is no hatem in atoyet eat. Elamai ba'oide. That's the when I fully got the gisel we are talking about oide. You got sinon. She'oide tachas haseisen means he's digging around the tree to make the tree grow better. The mahani lulaseisen by digging in the garka around the tree, that's going to help the pears be better pears, grow better. The havale mixes meloche b'seisen. Part of what he's doing to help the olives. Rabbi Sova Azami Melocha the Havalei Kilo also b'zaysim atzmai by digging around the tree is as if you're working in the zaysim and the upote and you pote. Why you pote? Come in, I told you that eat because make me nasty like Rabbi. You're digging around the tree to make the zaysim grow better. Thus I had to tichila min I told you like Rabbi. But time of the Mesisis relay the Havalei Koisib Ilan Azavi Oisib Ilan. Oisib Ilan is I didn't want that you don't eat minat peiros. In other words, now he's giving him mishaloi. The Baal Bais gave him to eat. So the only way you're getting around the issa over here is you have to do what? Tzirif. If you make it tzirif, it's chayiv tzirif. But you don't do it tzirif, then it's musa. Min de basa, min ha-seif on aloimdim, the ma'iri av, kukan, the menachesh, v'hainu oide, but menachesh, meaning oide, digging around the tree. Rabbi Ton Shoel, the bnei yeshiva, ma'o hai, potter the tinin hocha. Why is it potter over here? So you know why it's potter over here? Because there was no tzirif. From then the Rashi talk the Rashi. The left side. Oichel gedaku potter. 5-6 lines on the left side. I feel a bit tzirif, even though he's mitzaref it. Could be kitzit, upaligam asis nigam parish yozul. He's plucking off the olives from the tree. This guy, but in the payers, working in the payers is what? The noise in the keilu shabalabayis. He's putting into the keilu the payers, and that's the nice time when the poil is allowed to eat. So if he's eating minatoida, so there's no kiyuv ma'aser. What was? The chivs kinafshecha. As I say the pasuk, the word kinafshecha. You're allowed to eat kinafshecha. Ma nafshecha oichel potter. Av shtayim. Even though you made it sirib, he balts minatoida eating. The nafshe shel poil is mutter. He's working not in the zaysim. He's working in the ilan by digging around the ilan, making it grow better. They know Dalton took the Torah mekanishes, but you're not working directly in the payers. You're working on the tree. That's a mukubal kaka. That doesn't give you ater achila. However, the balabais came in and a tzigi gave him an employment agreement. Al menashi yochel have a mecca. Then we'll say says if you have mecca, that's kaveya. That's minahodam. The employee is giving it to you. Ubetzirif chayim, and he made it tzirif, not achasachet. Lo yipli gerei. Everything should be chulkev then. The nachashim bezaysim lahokum alayilim. If he's taking off the zaysim, he's laying not the zaysim. Lahokum alayilim hazaysim aroyim. He wants to take off the bad ones. Shleichishu ayofim. If it's too much payers on the tree, so the koich of the tree gets shvacha, and the zaysim shvacha zaysim, you get rid of them. So that's what he's doing. He's pruning the tree. In the basik loimim, in the tani basalachi mashma, tani b'seif in the nachas b'solim, b'reish adam yil seif in the maslisin. So this is doimet into the Mishnah. Rabbanan savi the b'tzirav chayiv. If you make it tzirav, you chayiv got tzkaveya. They know ichel min ha'toyre. You're not eating min ha'toyre because this is something which you're doing for the tree, and not min ha'toyre. You're only giving it for the balabayas. And if you mitzad of the payers, it's also because that's kaveya. You have to take off ma'aser. Avagav the yoyer lekeilu shel balabayas. So that shechai should be mutter because it's akila. The Torah is allowing you to eat. Zok tenei. The Ike is not these payers that he's putting into his basket. The Ike is he's fixing the tree. He wants the tree to grow better by taking off the shvachara. And the fact that you're putting in a couple into your bag, that doesn't give you heter achila. It doesn't give you heter achila. Maybe it's also because the balabai is kivei of him, and he's giving it mididei. But time did have mefarish lekamei. Ahein petur the tinin lahocha, hay petur the tani rebbe. My time, it was my time. You bought it because there was no tziriv, and that's why it's mutter. I don't know why. Shot the shach. What's the shach here? What's called the kuf kofe 125. Kuf kofe.